Hey y'all, this is Sky Juice coming to you live and direct from the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. Anyway, some of the things I don't like about living in Puerto Rico. Okay? Ugh, I want to be nice. So, the worst thing you could do is come to someone's home and tell them how to run it, right? And so that's what this is going to sound like. But I want to come from a place in my heart that is coming from, I see an opportunity to make your life easier and better, and I think you should consider some of my ideas, but you don't have to. That's where I'm coming from when I talk about things in Puerto Rico that need to improve. Whew, it's a lot. But I'm gonna just name some of the things that just hit me really hard. So the first thing that happened when I moved here is I brought my children down, and I was really an advocate for homeschooling. They were not into it, the older two. So I enrolled them in school here. My daughter didn't last but a few months because the way the school runs is really hard. I actually initially was going to enroll them in a private school, and the vibes, the energy was like, if I'm going to spend my money, you got to be super duper, super, super highly professional with me, or else that's not going to work. So I didn't get that vibe. So I enrolled them in the public school, and it was even worse. But anyway, the public school system here in Puerto Rico is a disgrace to the children that go there. They don't have any books. The teachers are like in dire straits with supplies. Um, it's just poorly run and poorly, just, it's poor for the kids. It doesn't make, I know the teachers try. I've met teachers who work at the schools, and a lot of them are amazing and beautiful. I met a teacher who was my son's science. I don't know what type of science. He had a doctorate, and I was just like, he was like, I'm ready to get out of here. Like, he literally told me, like, I have one more year. This is my last year. I'm out of here. And it's just like, whew, it needs to blow up. They need to blow up the Department of Education and start over, because the children have iPhones, okay? If there's a fight in the school, the fight is on YouTube in 5 minutes, okay? So teaching children without books and taking the whole class period to write notes on the board is like 1953. Okay, they have to find a way to, if they don't have books, you don't need to have books, you have the internet. They need to get these children the information that they need. And it just seems like they just go through a lot of, like, just they go through the motions to get by. And it's just a really sad situation. Another thing is, I remember going up into the school, in the library, they needed to blow the library up because they had like World Book Encyclopedia from 1979. They had books that the place was dusty, like whoever the librarian was didn't clean it, or whoever her maintenance people were, they didn't clean it. Um, and it just looked like people were working just because they had to and they were trying to make it work, but there was no like, I never got a sense of like, we're really trying to empower these children. Um, they would tell my son that they want to meet with me the next day, and I'm like, okay. So I would go to the school in the morning with him and meet with the teacher for like, oh, he's doing really well. He's really trying. I know the language is an issue, and da da da. And I was like, you could have emailed me that. I don't need to walk in here and mess up my morning. So they don't want to do. And I was like, don't you have email? You can email me. I'll give you my email address. He's like, well, what? I don't email parents. And I was like, why not? Well, because we don't do that. I said, well, do you have an email account? Do you have Gmail? It's free. He's like, yeah, but we don't do that. And I was like, why? It's 2012 or whatever year it was. Like, you should be emailing your parents. If you want to send me a message, the only reason I should come in this school is if it's an emergency and I need to start punching children. Cancel that. The only reason why I should come in this school is because you really need me to do, like, we need to have a meeting, like an intervention or something. If he's doing great, awesome. That's what I would like him to do, and I want him to be a good child and a good student, but don't call me in here for something. You could send me an email saying he's doing really good, or even if he didn't do his homework, you could still send me an email saying he didn't do his homework. Can you please make sure you know what I'm saying? So it seemed way antiquated, like just the whole system. Um, Professionalism is not high in Puerto Rico in general, in my opinion. In a lot of sectors, it really is, but it seems like there's no accountability, specifically in government offices. Like if you're trying to call a place for information, they won't even answer the phone. And I have been in offices sitting there and the phone was ringing and the lady is like buzzing around doing something and the phone rings until it hangs up, and it's like, why? And it just seems like they really value seeing your face. So when people have to take care of business here, they have to go from office to office, spend a lot of time and a lot of hours to do things that they could email, fax, mail, put in the mail, download, make a phone call. I mean, this is the world I come from. I'm basing it on my experience. But, here, for you to do something, you have to go from here to there, back to this office, run it back. And if that one person didn't come to work today, then you got to go back another day and make sure they're not on vacation. I mean, it gets very frustrating when it comes to taking care of business here in Puerto Rico. I mean, it's like, you have to drink. That's why people drink a lot of alcohol here. um, Another thing that I really don't like is the way they do the doctor's appointments. One of my girlfriends, she was here for like maybe a year and she was out. She was so out. She was like so done with the way things work here. So the tradition here, now here's the funny thing. The tradition here is if you have to go to the doctor for whatever reason, you go to the doctor at like 6:30 in the morning, and hopefully you're first, and sign a sheet of paper that you're there first, and stand outside the doctor's office and wait till the doctor comes about 9 p.m. I mean 9 a.m. and then they'll open the office. Maybe they open the office about 8. The workers or the secretary, the admins, they'll get there about 8. So you can walk in the office and sit in order as the list as you got there. And then the doctor will get there at 9 and we'll see everyone from 9 to 12, and then they'll close the office and go to lunch. And that's what everyone does. So when anyone has to go to a doctor's appointment, especially working people, they have to take like the whole day off, right? Because most places close at 3, right? So the funny thing is when I did that like twice, and I was like, I'm never doing that again. So my doctor, I go to her and I said, I want an appointment and I want to be able to walk in about 15 minutes before my appointment and be seen. Can I do that? She said, yeah, of course, but you have to come in the afternoon after lunch. You have to come in at 1:30, 2. I will do it. Can I do that? So I go there, make an appointment, 1:30, get there at 1:15, and she sees me at 1:30. And I was like, why don't people make an appointment in the afternoon? Like, why do they want to wake up at 5:30 to go to the doctor's and sit there till 11 o'clock I don't get it. I just don't understand why people do that. It just is backwards to me. But this is just my perspective, and just, I'm used to making an appointment and going to be seen at the time. What else? Things that I don't really like in Puerto Rico. Those are my main things, honestly. I mean, I could think of some other ones that are not really as important, but those are some of the things that like torque me to the bone. And other than that, I really have good times, good relationships. And what happens is when you live here and you start learning how things work, then you work around them. Like there are business people who you can hire who will go do your errands for you. So if you need to get like a business license, or you need to take care of some business and you don't got time to be sitting in nobody's office, from one office to the next, there are people who will do it for you, but you got to pay for that. But I think it's a great service because sometimes you don't have time. I remember there was one office that told me to come in, and they gave me an application that required me to bring in some documents. They literally could have emailed me this paper. I had to go in there, sit there, wait for like an hour till my appointment came up, and then they gave me the sheet of paper, and I was just like, whoo. But other than that, Puerto Rico's cool. You know, I mean, there's some things that they can do to make life better, but you know, some of those things, they just don't make sense. Bureaucracy is at like 100%, you know. So anyway, more on that later. Peace.